and welcome into Cullman in the Morning. I'm Debbie Wood, along with our guest today, Lynn White. He's representing the Wallace State Community College community, and he's here to talk about the building construction department, and I think you're really going to find this interesting. And good to see you. How are you this morning?
Good to be here this morning, Debbie. Glad you have me.
Glad for you to be here, Lynn. And I think it's so interesting. I love to build, and I think I told you earlier during pre-interview, my husband and I have built several houses, and it's totally different than what you do. But I think it's a fun thing to see the finished product.
It is. That is one of the best things about what I do and what I teach my students. And one of the things that I continue to reiterate to them is that when you get done, even your grandkids, generations from now, will be able to drive by and say, my granddaddy built that house, or my granddaddy worked on that building, or my granddaddy did this, that, or the other, or
Yes.
even my grandmother. I have some female students, non-traditional students, and so the program is just wide open, and there's a lot of pride to be had in doing that, building things with your hands.
There really is, isn't there? Well, let's talk a little bit about you, and how many years experience do you bring, and how long have you been there?
Well, I was teaching for almost a year prior to coming to Wallace State, and I've been at Wallace State. This past August was my first year. This is a brand new program. This is our fourth semester of it, and we're just getting started good.
Awesome.
Just getting our feet wet over here.
Fourth semester.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's a 2-year program, of course, and it's building construction. And when you start, I mean, of course, I know the students probably work with different ones to see, advisors to see if that program fits their needs. But, and you were talking about non-traditional. Do you see typically more males in the program?
There are, just because that traditionally is the way it is, but I have more, there are more and more people who are looking at the program, more female students, and
Right.
Again, I have one, her father's in the business, and her and her brother, they're looking to follow on in the family business, and we're building some brand new lockers for the ladies basketball team, and so we had them to come over one day, and one of them is going to be a teacher.
Okay.
And she was like, hey, I need to come over and take some of these classes because I want to be an ag teacher. And so it's wide open. It is a very good job for females to get into, to learn and to grow with, and can make a very good living.
I was going to say, make a very good living,
Absolutely.
I would think. Well, let's talk about, all right, so when you first sign up, maybe the first semester, what can we expect as we begin? Are we going to start out just from the scratch, how to pour cement or how to build a frame?
First semester is a lot of basics.
Okay.
Fall is usually our first semester of our 4-semester program. We do a lot of the basics. Safety, start with safety. You got to have that first. We require all our students to be OSHA 10 certified, which is a lot of employers look for that, and some even pay more per hour for employees who are OSHA 10 certified. And we do a lot of basics. We start with basic tools, hand tools, and then we work into basic power tools, and then using those tools in the lab. We have a lab there, so we get not only classroom instruction, but we have a lab where we can actually do hands-on work with the tools and building things there, and building stuff on campus as well.
Wonderful. Now, when you're talking about OSHA and all the rules and regulations there, they're just phenomenal how much it covers. But do you actually help them go through that in order to get those licensed?
I do. I teach part of the safety.
Okay.
I teach safety there as part of our basics course. But this coming year, I'm going to get master certified as a master teacher for OSHA.
Okay.
So I'll actually be able to certify the students myself. I currently am not, though we do teach OSHA. It's an online course that they have to complete for certification, but we do teach it, and then they have to get the certification through someone else online.
Okay. Now, say halfway through the program, by halfway through the 2 years, what can they expect to have learned? And then we'll sort of pick up at the end too.
The first 3 semesters you will have learned to read blueprints, frame a house from the ground up, form concrete, and even do some concrete. We are also have an electrical program, class in the program, so there's some electricity. But the first 3 semesters, you definitely be able to walk away as a pretty experienced carpenter, and not only in the classroom, but I'm trying to get most of my students to work in-field
Okay.
while they're working their way through college.
Great.
So when you graduate with a 2-year degree, now you have 2 years experience to go with your 2-year degree. So most companies who say, well, you don't have experience, we can't hire you. Well, I try to get my guys in early.
Sure.
So that within 2 years, now they've got 2 years experience to go with their 2-year degree, and it's just win-win for the
Great
students.
idea. Great idea.
Yeah.
Do they typically accept that, from you and say, yes, I agree with you, and they do it?
Yeah, and I've had a
encouragement?
couple who've done that, and we have companies there locally in Hansville who are trying to work with us and put our students to work, and we have a couple who have
Good.
done that here in Cullman. So yeah, they're working with us pretty good, and my students are receptive to it because they
They are.
understand that even the only things open to them is fast food restaurants if without experience, and
That's
so
true.
we're trying to get them experience now. Get them in field with some of these companies, and then they have the experience to go with their degree.
And we'll be back with more of Cullman in the Morning right after this. Have you seen any of your students go, like you were mentioning, electricity, electrical? Have you seen any of those folks turn from just the total building into electricity or plumbing, that kind of thing?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. We have a student who is an employee of the Birmingham Water Works Board, and he comes up he's getting the degree in building construction management
Okay.
because of project management, working with so many projects in Birmingham with the waterworks that he's having to get the degree. So he's
Awesome.
he is there. He's getting the broad spectrum of things, but he's literally just there to get his degree in construction management. But he's getting so much more. And a lot of the things that we do in construction is problem solving, just basic common sense problem solving.
Sure.
And that's really what they're looking for today is employees who can solve problems. Just
Yeah.
they don't want to be told, or don't want to have to tell them everything to do.
Everything to do, sort of like a self-starter, I would think.
That's correct.
Get in there and do it, and I mean, especially if you want to project manage
That's
something.
right, that's right.
such an important thing to just be turned loose and go do it.
Absolutely.
All right, so by the end of the 2-year program, they will have covered so much. We've already covered blueprints, concrete work, electricity, and I'm sure some plumbing. And so by the end, project managing.
By the end of the 2 years, they will have had at least 5 academic classes.
Okay.
So we put some academics in there with it. These students are very sharp. They're going to be very smart. They have to take some academic classes. I also, when I set up the program, we put in a CAD class, which is computer-aided drafting.
Sure.
So not only are they learning to read blueprints, but they're learning to sit at a computer and draw blueprints. And those students, they're that and the math that's required of them, a lot of math in construction.
Right.
So a 2-year student is also had management courses. That's one of the academic classes we put in, is there's a management course that they have to take.
Right.
So yeah, at the end of 2 years, they're going to be pretty well-rounded students.
They're going to be ready to go.
They probably won't be masters of anything, but they'll
Right.
certainly be well-rounded and have had some experience to go with the knowledge that they have in their heads.
See, and that's so awesome, and that's what you want, is a well-rounded student in all the areas, academics included. So we don't have any success stories yet, probably. Has anyone come out and they're working somewhere or building houses or doing anything yet?
Well, I have one student. This is his 3rd semester. He'll
Okay.
be graduating next semester.
Good.
And his father had a business doing siding and stuff, so he's already stepping out on his own.
Good.
And he has learned so much and is advanced. We carried him to Skills USA last year, which is a great chance for these young kids to really shine and show off their skills, you
Sure.
know. And so he's starting to step out on his own, and his father's leaving him alone on jobs more now. So he's really coming on, you know. And So in fact, he placed third at skills last year. So we
That's fabulous.
That was his first semester at college, and he went down and placed third in the state. We were pretty
Y'all were
stoked
proud.
about that. Yes,
I
ma'am.
bet you were,
Yes,
and I
ma'am.
know he was proud too. And
He was.
his family, and what a great future that he'll have ahead of him by doing that. So wonderful programs at Wallace. You know that, folks. And if you haven't heard about this program, Building Construction, you need to check it out. If you're leaning toward being, a lot of people love to be outside instead of stuck inside.
Yeah.
What a great career you would have. And and let's talk very quickly about this is toward the end of the year. So when do your classes start back in January, and how soon do they need to get registered?
Registration is open now.
Good.
And in fact, I have a couple of new students who have already registered.
Good.
And I think classes start back January the 8th.
Okay.
I think somewhere in
Somewhere
that
around
area.
there?
Yes.
Okay.
So but the registration is open now, as are scholarship applications. So
Okay.
we have scholarships for our programs as well. There are used to be traditionally just in academics, but now their programs, our tech programs, have scholarships.
Good.
And they can get those through the home builders, local home builders associations.
Okay.
They can also apply for scholarships through Wallace State, and even the state has a home builders association that they can apply for. There's tons of scholarships out there for this field, and that's another very cool part about what we do is you graduate this 2-year program, go to work making good money, and have
Right.
little or no college debt.
See, that, I mean, you can't beat that.
That's
I mean,
great.
that's.
It's
I know there's a
win-win.
lot of parents out there saying this is the way to go,
That's
kid.
right.
You've got to do this.
That's right.
So how exciting! Okay, so a local home builders association, and of course Wallace State, and then the state.
State
Home
Home Builders
Builders.
Association.
And so I'm sure you can go online. I used to know the addresses for the local one, but we can find that for you, and I'm sure it's easy to find online. So, Lynn, we just wish you the best. I know you're doing great, and the students are going to love you, and I know you do a wonderful job, and you love it.
I do. I love teaching, and to see a student have that aha moment when they catch what you're teaching,
Yes.
to me it's a great sense of accomplishment.
Sure.
When you know you've learned something and you've applied it, but then to teach someone else that is, to me, that's an awesome feeling. That's the best part of my job, is to be able to have someone else to learn what you know how to do.
Absolutely, and of course, as time goes on, you'll be seeing all the results of all that hard work on your part and their part. So
Yes, ma'am.
we're excited to, and we'll be seeing you again soon, maybe in the spring or at least before summer, and find out what's
forward to
happened
it.
since then. So Lynn White with us today, representing Wallace State Community College. It's a wonderful program, Building Construction. Give them a call. They'd love to hear from you. And we'll be back with more of Cullman in the Morning right after this.